On this day, 75 years ago, the British-Iraqi architect Zaha Hadid was born. Described as the queen of curves who liberated architectural geometry, giving it a whole new expressive identity, Hadid was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II for her contributions to world architecture. The firm she founded in London, Zaha Hadid Architects, continues to innovate and build fabulously impressive structures around the world. Read more about her life and work. 1932 Zaha Hadid in Baku, 2013. Faye was born to an upper-class family in Baghdad that included a writer in her brother and an artist in her mother. She studied mathematics in Beirut before moving to London, study architecture, where she stood out as a phenom. Her former professor, Rem Koolhaas, described her at graduation as a planet in her own orbits. The Bridge Pavilion Zaragoza CC 3.0. S.A. Grez. In 1910 she founded her firm and got to work putting her spectacular vision into concrete. These included the Fino Science Center, Wolfsburg, the Contemporary Arts Center, Cincinnati, the administration building of BMW factory, Leipzig, and the Napoli Afrigola railway station, Naples. Dongdiman Design Plaza credits Andrew Corbley. Between 2000 and 2010, she completed huge standout works that wowed the architecture community and won major prizes. Just to name a few, there was the Bridge Pavilion in Zaragoza, Spain, the Haydar Aliyev Center in Baku, the Gwangju Opera House, the Vienna University of Economics and Business Library, and the Galaxy Soho in Beijing. More good news on this date. Scottish physician and writer Arthur Conan Doyle published The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, a detective modelled on Doyle's from a university. In 1811, the Battle of Britain ended and prevented a German invasion. 1940, the 40th birthday of Peter Jackson, who was given a Super 8 camera by a family friend as a child, and later became the director of the Lord of the Rings film trilogy. 1960, the leaders of the Roman Catholic and Lutheran churches signed a doctrine of justification, ending a centuries-old dispute over the nature of faith and salvation. 1910, and Soyuz TM-9 launched, carrying the first Korean residents to the International Space Station, which has been continuously crewed since 484. 8 years ago, the Leiden University Library's doors were opened after its founding 13 years earlier. Considered one of the most important moments in the history of European scholarship, it was one of a few cultural centres in Europe at the time that attempted to disperse knowledge during the early days of the Enlightenment. 1508, in following the Dutch revolt against the Habsburgs, a new country with a new sect of Christianity was formed. The Dutch Golden Age during the Enlightenment has been considered by some scholars as the highest watermark of Western civilization that had ever been reached in terms of human and spiritual rights, economic rights, and standard of living. According to Nicholas A. Baspens, a scholar of libraries, the Leiden University libraries represent an essential benchmark not only for the teeming collection of extraordinary materials it has scrupulously gathered and maintained over a sustained period of time, but most of all for being the world's first scholarly library in a truly modern sense. The Litany of Verse recorded at Leiden is dazzling, the first printed catalogue to be prepared by an institution of its holdings, the first attempt to identify and maintain what today are known as special collections, the first systematic attempt to develop a core of influential friends, patrons, and benefactors throughout the world, the first universal library. The list goes on, and underpinning it all is a humanistic approach to education and discovery that has figured prominently throughout its history, along with an unbending belief in the limitless potential of human inquiry. 84 years ago today, workers completed one of the great sculptural feats of the 20th century, carving 4 presidents into the granite face of Mount Rushmore. Graham Pearce CC licensed the sculpture brings in millions of visitors to the Black Hills of Keystone, South Dakota to see the 6-foot-high 18M heads of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. A local historian, Don Robinson, dreamed up the idea, but he wanted the monument to feature Western heroes like Lewis and Clark, Red Cloud, and Buffalo Bill Cody. The sculptor, Danish-American Gutzon Borglum, decided the sculpture should have a more national focus and chose the 4 presidents whose likenesses would be carved into the mountain. The project began with several years of dynamiting into 450,000 tons of rock before the chiseling began, which used a combination of facing bits and jackhammers to carve the faces of the inspiring men. 20 miles away, in the Black Hills, an American who had helped carve the presidents' faces began to blast granite on another monument, a Native American warrior, Crazy Horse, which, when finished, would dwarf Rushmore in size. Watch a Smithsonian video about how it was meant to look very different. 1941 years ago today, Juliette Gordon Low, the founder of Girl Scouts of the USA, was born. After being educated in East Coast boarding schools and earning badges in a secret sorority club, she married and moved to Scotland. Her many interests and varied skills would have earned her dozens of Girl Scout badges. Later, Gordon Low had learned shorthand, bareback riding, hunting, partridge painting, and poetry putting on plays, sewing she made clothes for the poor, woodworking, nursing, and metalworking she designed and built iron gates for her home in Warwickshire, all before starting Girl Guides in America, which she renamed Girl Scouts. When she returned to her hometown of Savannah, Georgia, she made a phone call to her cousin Nina, saying, "I've got something for the girls of Savannah and all America and all the world, and we're going to start it tonight." Shortly after, in March 1912, she formed the first 2 American Girl Guides patrols. For her first Girl Guide groups in Scotland, she encouraged the girls to become self-sufficient by learning how to spin wool and care